Hello. The article I chose was called Life in a Sinking Nation, Tuvalu's Dreams of Land. I chose it because its title seemed to put climate change into the context of national identity, which is a topic that really interests me. It's about an island nation called Tuvalu in the South Pacific. Due to rising sea levels caused by climate change, its government predicts it to be completely submerged by the end of the century. Since its independence from Britain in the late 70s, its GDP mainly comes from either fishing licenses or licensing fees from its .tv internet domain. Tuvalu is very much dependent on nearby countries for its livelihood. Its 11,000 citizens commonly seek travel for services from everything from a haircut to higher level education. The article opened with its foreign minister making a speech at COP22, announcing its digital presence as like a permanent future for Tuvalu even after it is completely submerged by the end of the century, kind of as like an alarming warning sign for other nations, but also to kind of prove a point that this is a possibility. So for my first map, I used location to show the relation between the physical island and this virtual concept of an island that was really intriguing for me. So I just wanted to map that out to show what that would look like. So I kind of created a flowchart for like the different variations of these locations, the physical and the digital, to show how while people are... I was really intrigued by this concept of a digital permanent island. So I thought about that as a location and decided to use this location-based mapping to show the dynamics between this physical island and this virtual one and how both can exist. So I show the dynamics between how the physical island has people either coming or being stuck on that island, and how other islands that surround them would send goods to the physical island, while the permanent digital island is kind of just stagnant and doesn't really show a possibility for people interacting with it. So this location-based mapping showed this relation between the physical and the virtual, and also revealed the uncertainty of the future because of the like kind of impermanence of the physical location, and also the uncertainty of what this virtual island and how it would interact with like other factors around it. It also reflected the movement between people and goods in other locations. However, I felt like it lacked context because we just didn't know where this was in time. So moving on to category-based mapping, I split up the main stakeholders and kind of different elements that are dependent on Tuvalu's existence. So those were the climate, the people, the economy, and nearby countries. I then kind of extracted different elements that came out of these categories and then correlated them to each other using these arrows and this color coding system to show how they all related to each other. Through this, it was revealed that I felt climate change isn't actually Tuvalu's big issue. It was more that it's isolated geographically and that it had so little of its own resources. And that's kind of what's leading to its deterioration. And I felt like this method provided a really good overview over the main issues. However, it didn't provide, again, too much context in terms of how these issues are moving through time. So I felt like there wasn't a lot of context. And finally, for my combination of methods, I chose time and location. So in doing so, I thought a storyboard would actually be the best way to do so, because I felt like it put everything into context in like a set for the story. So you have your location and you have your time. So it starts off with 1978, when Tuvalu gains its independence from Britain. And I kind of set the scene with its main landmarks of its warehouse, which is full of imported goods from nearby countries, one airstrip, a garden that was funded by Taiwan, where people actually have to like ration fruits and vegetables weekly. And there's this one fishing lagoon. In parallel, while the years go by, the land erosion starts, the sea levels are rising. However, in 2018, a research paper is published that actually reveals that there's land being deposited, and that's actually 2 times more than the area of the eroded land. So I felt like here there's like this spark of opportunity that arises. However, in 2019, New Zealand begins to offer climate visas for 75 Tuvaluans annually for them to open citizen pathways as an alternative to their homeland. In 2022, it was when the foreign minister went to COP22 and made the statement about creating this digital permanent nation. And it was also amended into the constitution that Tuvalu will always remain in existence regardless of what happens to its physical future. In 2025, Australia opened citizenship to 280 citizens annually. So what's really interesting about this is that out of the 11,000 citizens of Tuvalu, 8,000 of them applied to this visa. So that's a very staggering number, and it actually shows how many people actually want to relocate. So this part, I what I find interesting about the storyboard, it allows me to create these possible futures. So even though this time has not existed yet, it allows the story to move into two possible pathways. So there's the upper pathway that's in that teal color, where it shows what the government is kind of predicting will happen, and also nearby governments, where year by year the sea levels are rising more and more land is getting eroded, hence more people are getting displaced and moving to other countries, until finally in 2050 Tuvalu is fully submerged. While the bottom half of this possible future is that actually land it keeps getting deposited, land gets reclaimed, citizens start to return back to their homeland, and the land is actually being researched on how to be inhabitable, and so forth. So in reflection, for me, I felt like the combination of time and location was definitely the most surprising. I loved how the timeline allowed me to show alternate possibilities of the future, and it also revealed some problems and how the solutions that were being offered don't necessarily add up to the problems that are being presented. While I was working on the storyboard, it revealed how land deposits can be an opportunity to survive. However, the focus of the article was actually mainly shifted towards climate change and the inevitability of displacement. And how the permanence of Tuvalu would lie in creating a digital space. In the future, I'd probably use various latch methods in combination, just to reveal nuanced qualitative insights in between the quantitative data from several different perspectives.